We've just been for a really lovely walk and I have spied the most huge amount of wild garlic. So I'm going to go on a little foraging expedition and hopefully collect enough to make you some wild garlic pesto, which is absolutely delicious. Do you like my my necklace? My husband made me. Oh, it's gorgeous. There is a weir and the most stunning surroundings. This could be a very quick 360, but yeah, look at all that wild garlic. Wow. So bear with me and I'm gonna go a picking. Wow, swathes and swathes of wild garlic. I wonder how much garlic pesto I could make. I have to clear out Joe's bolognese from the freezer and replace it with wild garlic pesto instead. Yeah, I think that's a jolly good idea. It has the most delicate flowers. They're absolutely beautiful. And it smells of garlic. So as you can imagine, that's my ideal bunch of flowers. Guys, we got back quite late yesterday. It was about 5:30 and so I didn't really feel like whipping the camera out again and making pesto for you. However, I really should have done because it's such a simple recipe and requires very few ingredients. So if you want to follow along whilst I'm cooking, whizzing, then I'll tell you what you need. So obviously you need wild garlic. Most woodlands around here, copious amounts of wild garlic, which is absolutely super. The season is very short, so as soon as I start buying wild garlic, I'm out there with my my little trug, collecting as much as I possibly can. Obviously, with the pesto, it's the leaves that you're using as opposed to the flowers. The flowers are edible, so you can use them for decoration in salads or things like that, but it's the leaves we're after for this particular recipe. A big old bunch, really good big bunch of the young tender leaves, if you can possibly get them. Then you need a lemon. I always zest my lemon and I always use the zest. In the recipe I'm using the lemon in because it just gives it a little bit of enhanced zinginess, and lemon is so good for you. How I cook with it, it's really delicious and healthy. Some parmesan cheese, grated. Bearing in mind it's all going to go into a whizzer, so it doesn't have to be too perfectly chopped, etc. If you don't like parmesan or you're vegan or what have you, then you can use a cheese substitute or a milder flavoured cheddar or whatever. Pine nuts, one of my favourite ingredients. Toasted pine nuts. Just please remember to keep an eye on them, because as soon as they start toasting, within moments they are ready and they need to come off the heat. So many times I've walked away and come back to very black, sorry looking pine nuts, which I've had to discard and start again. It's very disappointing. What else do we need? Some ordinary garlic, obviously. We don't need too much because we're enhancing our wild garlic that we already have. That's it. So yeah, lemon, parmesan cheese, wild garlic. I'm using olive oil in this recipe, but again, it's a very personal taste. You can use rapeseed oil. It really doesn't matter. The only thing I would strongly advise you didn't use was perhaps virgin olive oil, because it's so strong and it really would overpower the delicate flavour of the wild garlic. So just use a fairly bland oil, which will enhance the flavour and carry the flavour and just amalgamate all the ingredients that we're using. So without further ado, I shall get whizzing. Another thing to mention is if you can't get hold of enough wild garlic leaves, you can incorporate parsley or nettles or any other tender green leaf that would go with the garlic. So you don't have to purely make a wild garlic pesto. It can be wild garlic and nettle, wild garlic and parsley. it really is anything goes, and it's the same with the pine nuts. You can substitute those for walnuts if you prefer a stronger flavour. Play around with it, Let me know if you come up with a better recipe in the comments below. Thank you. So guys, I'm just going to do all my prep first, and it's so easy. Obviously, make sure you've washed and dried all your beautiful wild garlic leaves, and just give them a chop really, because they're all going in the blender. Obviously, I must just say, do be careful when foraging, whatever you're foraging for. Don't mistake lily of the valley or something very, very poisonous for wild garlic. Wild garlic is probably one of the easier things to forage for. You can tell it's wild garlic because it smells of garlic, and it has these beautiful, as I showed you earlier, flowers. And lily of the valley flowers are very different from that, and they smell sweet. But just always, obviously, if you are going to go foraging, do be careful and make sure you know exactly what you're collecting. That's really, really important. Anyway, I've chopped the leaves. The next thing to do is to zest my lemon. I always get unwaxed lemons, but nevertheless, give them a wash. And then my handy zester tool, which I think I've shown you before, makes easy work of lemon or orange or whatever citrus fruit you're zesting. Just like so. Oh my God, I just love, love, love the smell of lemons. So delicious. That goes so well with wild garlic pesto. So there we are. I always finely chop the zest as well. Give it a quick. There we are. We don't have to be too precise because it's all going in the blender. That's what makes this recipe so amazingly simple. There we are. Whoops. That's that. We'll just cut the lemon because we need some of the juice as well. So we'll pop that to one side. And now the garlic clove. I'm not a squasher of garlic. I'm afraid I always make it very fiddly and peel it and finely chop it. But there are all sorts of gadgets you can get to peel garlic and squash it and do purees, etc. I just prefer making a song and dance of it, just getting it underneath my fingernails. And then again, just finely slice it. Don't worry too much. And there we have it. It's as simple as that. I have already grated my parmesan, but you can get ready grated parmesan if you're going to be that lazy. So that's it, guys. It's that simple. That is all the preparation done. I have pre-grated the parmesan, so that's the only thing. Oh, and I've also toasted my pine nuts, and you can see that absolutely gorgeous golden colour, and it really enhances and brings out that yummy nutty flavour. But for goodness sake, as I said, keep an eye on them. Right. The next stage is literally to put all our ingredients into our blender, whiz it all up. I wouldn't add too much olive oil to begin with. We want enough to obviously make it whiz round and grind everything up, but not too much because we don't want it to become too oily. Obviously you can add more oil, but you can't take it away. I'm not going to make a horrible racket on camera. I'm going to put all my ingredients in the blender and I will come back to you and show you the consistency of the pesto and then taste it, obviously. I didn't mention salt and pepper. You can add that at the end if you feel you need to. I don't generally. I think there's enough flavour going on anyway. But again, you just tweak ingredients to your taste. So bear with me and I shall blend all this deliciousness up and I'll come back and show you the consistency which I prefer. Again, that's personal preference. Some people like a really runny pesto, some people like it a bit thicker. I shall see you in a few moments. Guys, we had serious blender issues. One had to go in the bin. Yes, Winnie, it did, didn't it? In the bin, despite Mr. Mills trying his hardest to fix it, it was unfixable. So the second best thing we have in the house is a smoothie maker, which is not ideal, obviously, because not even I want my strawberry smoothies to have that extra hint of garlic, even if it is wild garlic. So anyway, I have used our smoothie maker to make this wild garlic pesto, and hopefully I will come up with a better solution for the next batch I make. Anyway, without further ado, let's open it and taste it and make sure the consistency is as we want it. Wow, that looks great. That looks really good. That is... That's very pesto looking to me, if you can see that. Yum, right. Wow. Oh, glory be. That is absolutely gorgeous. Yum. That is really, really delicious. It's lemony. Obviously, it's really garlicky. It's gorgeous. I think the only thing I would probably do is to add a bit more parmesan for my taste, because I do love salty flavours as well, but I don't want to add just plain old salt. And also the parmesan will thicken it up a bit. It doesn't need thickening up. I'll scoop it out into a bowl and show you. Guys, for a moment there, I thought I was going to have to get out the good old pestle and mortar. That would have taken a bit of strength and a bit of time, and not really what I want to be doing on a Sunday morning. Anyway, we've got there. Let me just decant the pesto into a bowl so I can show you the texture. Wow, look at that delicious, delicious green. Oh, wow. Wow. Well, texture-wise, as far as I'm concerned, whoops, that is perfect pesto texture. So nothing more needs to be added. We all like pasta in this house, so I expect we'll have a delicious pasta dish with some wild garlic pesto, and I shall just sprinkle more parmesan on the top. I'm not going to add anything more to this. It really is just perfect. So that's really good. One thing to mention, I haven't given you any quantities because I don't really agree with quantities. It just depends so much on your personal taste, and what I like you won't necessarily like. You won't perhaps like as much lemon juice as I do. So really you just have to play with the flavours. So very roughly as a guide, because I know it's annoying when people don't give quantities, I probably used about 100 to 150 grams of the wild garlic, the leaf, half a lemon, half the juice of a lemon, all the zest, a whole clove of garlic, about 100, 120, 150 millilitres of olive oil, 40 to 50 grams of parmesan. Yeah, and pine nuts, I just emptied the bag as to what I had, which was, I don't know, 20, 25 grams. But again, please play with these quantities to make it absolutely how you like it. And wow, I'm just, as I say, going to make some pasta, scoop some wild garlic pesto on top of it, add a bit of parmesan, and I'm going to use some of these beautiful flowers to decorate it. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this vlog. Sorry it's been a bit bitty, and I'm even more sorry that the blender broke halfway through, but that's typical. Anyway, never mind. You have to deal with these hiccups. And yeah, I'm very pleased with the result. We shall all be smelling of wild garlic. Yum. This is my very simple wild garlic pesto with penne pasta and some wild garlic flowers just to finish it off. I hope you really enjoy it, and please leave any comments below, and yeah, any tweaks to your recipes. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I will be back hopefully very soon. I was going to do the beetroot brownie recipe, which I've been promising for probably over a year now. So yeah, see you guys soon. Bye. Storage ideas. Ice cube tray.